Start the recording. Good afternoon, everyone. All right, let's check the homework. It wasn't hard just because we didn't have enough time to look at force cycle as well, but we will do it today. So, first part was write a code that asks user to enter something, then checks if length of the input is longer than 10, adds it to long word list if it is, and else adds it to short word list. So we can ask user for something. Let's name it user input or something like that. And then use an input statement. So input statement can have a message inside, a string that will be printed to console for user. So let's say enter something. And after that we can check. So I will use if statement. The task was to check if it is longer than 10 or not. So I will check len of user input and check if it's bigger than 10. Actually, I can use a smaller than 10 here too. So I just change the body of if. So if I use larger than 10, then this means that we need to add this input to long words. So long words dot append and user input. Else, I will add it to short words dot append user input. Thing is that if I use less than 10 here, I need to swap these two lines, line 11 and line 13. So condition will be backwards. So if it's less, so basically if I use that, I need to add to short words here and long words here then. So the condition is backwards, but it can be done both ways. So I'll leave it like that. If I run this, enter something, put, okay, we can check it now. Just a sec. Let's print both of them. So let's print, let's use this join method that we had before. So I will say that I will use an f string and say that long words is equal to long words dot let's say the other way around. I will use the join operator, so I will use it like that. I will put a string in here, so let's say comma space and join long words this way, and do exactly the same line for short words, just change long for short. So short words, and I will add short words in here as well. Short words. Let's add a dot in the end. So yep, I can use it like that. Hello. Hello goes to short words. Nothing goes to long words. We can actually say if len long words is more than 0, then print long words. Else, let's say elif len of short words more than 0, then print that. So basically I can check if there are any words, I will print the statement. If there are not, so I can actually do it like that. Still an empty string will go there, but we will see how to do more complex solution later. So that was just for practice for now. Any questions on this part? Or it's understandable. This is the main solution, so this is extra. All right, so write a code that takes user inputs. Let's say I will use the same variable. It's okay in Python. Be careful not to reassign variables that you still want to use. But it's okay if you won't be using user input anymore in this program. You can reassign it and use it one more time. So it's good. I will do the same thing. Input, name a color. If user input, and we had the true false check if something contains something. So basically, if user input in colors, we don't need to change data types anyhow, because input is always a string. So basically, we just check if user input is inside colors, print, let's say user input is in colors, and do else. In case there is no user input inside, we will say is not in colors. So we can check red, 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 red is in colors, and we can also do let's say black, black is not in colors. So it's like that.
That's the double question. Can you remember me what F meant?
F is a formatted string. This means we can put curly braces and some variables or Python code inside, so we can use it. Actually, I would also put a title here, or capitalize the title. Why is that? Just because when we do some output, let's say, what would say, cn, so the output starts with a capital letter, so you can do that as well. But don't do this here because we need to check if it's in the list, and list contains only lowercase letters. So it won't be the same if I do, for example, dot title here. Just because input is a string, I can do that. I can use string methods with input. So if I do it like that, cn, I will get, oh, cn, I will get it is not in colors. Why is that? Because we change first letter to capital here, and when we go to if statement and start checking conditions, user input is cn with capital C, and okay, let's show you with color we do have there. Let's say red. So red is not in colors. So why is that? We have a capital R here. So we check if basically red, like that, is inside here, and we don't have it because capital letters and lowercase letters are different. Right, so we can't change it to title here because we need it in condition, or otherwise you can choose it, do it like that, lower. So you check here, it doesn't matter what, because we don't know what user will enter. For example, user can do something like that. Use it lower in colors. Why is it adding itself? Oh, okay. I'll comment first popped out. Input name a color using input lower, like that. Name a color. For example, if user types in like that, red, all capitals. We don't have red with all capitals here. So what we do, we can actually put lower inside if statement to change the uppercase to lowercase, and it doesn't matter how user will enter this color, so it will work now. So red is in colors. So we can change case just to check if it's in there, for example, and then change case again for output. So make it first letter capital.
Okay. Was that part of like
It wasn't part of the task. I'm just showing you some different ways of playing around with it. Okay, and let's do the last one. So deletes and prints a message, or adds color or shows color not found. So let's do the same thing. User input equals input. Choose color. Then we check if user input. Let's do lower again, so we can definitely find it if user types something wrong. Colors. So if it is inside this list, we delete it and print the message. So what we can do actually, we can use remove, either remove or pop method. For us, we can use remove because we have this value. Remove uses the value. So let's use remove. We say colors dot remove user input. And actually we do lower here, just in case user enters something with capital letters only. And then print a message. So let's use an F string. User input is deleted from list, and an else statement where we can say that user input is not found. Now we can actually use lower here as well, or title. Yes, yes, you can use that, but this way we will show in what input was there for you, from user. So basically, I will do. I'll print colors here. I do it same way. I will put comma space dot join. Sorry, just like that. Comma space dot join colors. Let's say like that, colors. So basically what happens here, I can put any red, for example, and then it will show me that red is deleted from the list. Or, for example, I can use, let's say, lime. Lime is not found. So I can actually see what user inputted and what we had. It's not a mistake if you just use, for example, color is deleted. So it's nothing bad about it if you do it this way. But other ways you can use this. Any questions so far? All right, what we will do next, I want to show you dictionaries, and then we will see rest of the flow control constructions. We will see cycles today, error checking, and so on and so on. So today will be a lesson about mostly flow control and different constructions to control your code. I'll start with dictionaries first. So I'll create a new Python file. I actually do it in the previous lesson because it was part of it. So I'll do a tester2. And we will quickly go through dictionary data type because it's actually is a last type that we have. So let's start with empty dictionary. So I will make a variable empty. And you have, similar to list, you have two ways of creating empty dictionary. First of all is empty curly brackets. We saw that on the last lesson when we tried to create empty set or empty set with those. So empty curly brackets create you a dictionary. Let's see, empty class dict. And also you have a second method, which is it is actually a conversion method. So dict like that will still give you an empty dictionary. So you can use both of these ways to create empty dictionaries, but usually it's curly braces. Talking about false values, remember we had this conversion to booleans. False value. So basically empty dictionary will return false. any dictionary that has at least one element inside will return true. So it's the same rule for strings, lists, sets, tuples, and dictionaries. Empties return false. The rest, if they have at least one character, one element, whatever, they will return true. So the rule is same for all of these types. All right. So what can we store in dictionary? Why is it so different from everything else? So let's create a mix variable. I will call it mix because we will do a dictionary with mixed types. So what is so special about dictionaries? Compared to other complex data types, dictionary consists not only of values, like it was with list. So we had list of values, different values, integers, floats, whatever. Uh, Dictionary contains pairs. So these are key value pairs. This means that you have to create a name for some variable, and I will actually open you this table we had before. So what do we know about dictionaries? They do not allow duplicate members. I will show you that in a while. Uh, these are changeable and indexed, but not indexed as we used to do it with lists, for example. Dictionary is unordered. Actually, if we speak about that, beginning from Python 3.7, if I remember it right, dictionary is already ordered. So basically, all of the pairs you put inside the dictionary will come in that order. But we don't have anything to do with this order. And the reason for that is that we don't have any numbers. We can't index with numbers. We don't have these 0 to something indexes because we have keys or names for our values. So we will use names instead. So you will see that. So first things first, what can be a key? Actually, keys can be strings, for example, name. You can use string as a key. And I told you that there are key value pairs or keywords as well, key value pairs. So this is a key. Similar. Mapping is a bit different thing, but it's similar, yeah. In Java, you should have, there should be objects, if I remember it right. Let me double check for you. If you're familiar with Java, was there Java? Take it from here, Java backend, Java tutorial. Let's see, syntax, output, common variables, data types. Boolean character, non-primitive types. So it's Boolean string etc. Typecasting, classes, arrays, strings, classes, arrays, interface. I don't remember Java already. It could be in algorithms. It shouldn't be actually. Booleans, if else, mass strings, operators, typecasting. I think it uses classes, strings, arrays, classes, interface. What's interface? Nope. I will double check for you. I'm not sure. I haven't touched Java for a while, so I need to remind myself. I will double check for you. It's definitely not a class. Yeah, yes, it's definitely not a class. I just double check for it. I'll check it for you and then give you an answer a bit later. So what we have here, we have a key. So key is name, and after this colon, we can give it a value. For example, I'll write here. I will write my name here. So we have a key value pair, and you have a key left side of the column and a value right side on the right side of the column. And you can separate these pairs with comma. So what else? We can also have an integer values. So let's say age is 35. Values can be any data type. So for example, you can have a courses key with a list, for example, art, math. Let's do it like that.
But keys can be only string?
Not only strings, integers, and floats as well. I will come to that. So yes, you can use, for example, values. As values, you can use pretty much everything. So it can be another dictionary, for example. Let's say, uh, personal data is a dictionary. And for us to make it easier to read, sometimes you need to write down your dictionaries in the right way, let's say. So what is allowed, you can actually put every pair on a separate line. So you can do it like that. It helps you organize your dictionary better. So what you can do, you can write it down this way. So it won't be messed up. So you have a separate pair on a separate line, and it's a lot easier to read as well when you do this. For example, in personal data, I can say that height is, let's say, 179, and then maybe weight 95, something like that. So what I'm trying to say that pretty much everything can be your value inside the dictionary. Speaking about keys, I'm not 100% sure now. Python 3.12 dictionary. Let's try to check. I think there was something. I think there was something changed in last version of Python. I will just quickly check it for you. Let's do it. Dictionary key Python. As far as I remember, W3 schools, I guess it won't have it in 3.12. Let's say key types. I just watched a video about updates on Python 3.12, and I think they changed something with dictionaries. New grammar, index types. Let's check it like that. No, nothing changed. Okay, so because I heard something like they were planning to add more different keys to add, but it's okay. I think they didn't do that. So what else can be? We can use integer or float as a key. For example, I use integer 1 and say it will be, let's say, hello world. It doesn't matter what it will be. I can use boolean too. So I can use true and say hello planet. I will show you that using booleans is not the best idea, but we can do that. Also, keys can be floats. You can't use any complex data for keys. So you can't use lists, dictionaries, you can't use sets or tuples. It is not allowed to. It's a good thing to leave a comma at the end. It's not compulsory. You may not add it, but it's a good thing to do that, so you can easily extend it. It won't add any extra elements. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pairs in here. The second thing is that let's say age. I'll do it like that. Age 2 is 35 also. I will do it like that, and I will print this dictionary first. So print mix. And let's look at what we get here. So if we look at our dictionary, actually let's print len mix as well, because dictionary does have a length. So we counted 7 pairs in our dictionary, but len method returned 6. Why is that? The reason for that is that dictionaries, I will open this table one more time, don't allow duplicate members. So if we look at our dictionary here, we see that we have 35 value here and a 35 value here. What that means that dictionary values actually can be can share the same value. So they can have duplicates. Values are not accounted to. So you have 35 here and 35 here, and that's actually okay because values can be duplicates. What can't be duplicate is a key. So keys must be all unique. And why we have 6 in here? Because we don't have this line, hello world. And we only have hello planet here. And the reason for that is when we use boolean as a key, it's not a mistake to use boolean as a key. It is allowed. But when we use boolean as a key, it will automatically be converted to integer. So it's 1 in case of boolean true and 0 in case of boolean false. And when we have two exactly same keys, so 1 and true converts to 1 as well. The last one will be used. Okay, so you can actually write similar keys. It's not a mistake. You can actually do 1 and 1. 1 and 1 is obvious. PyCharm will see that. 1 and true is actually the same as 1 and 1, but PyCharm doesn't see that. But in the end of the day, you will get only last duplicate. So it's that for us. If we use false and 0, it will be exactly the same thing. So try not to use booleans as keys. It's better to use strings actually. So let's say strings is your choice number 1. In some cases, you might want to use integers. For example, if you download something from database and you have indexes there, like a number of offline, so you can use numbers, integers there to get to write dictionary keys. But usually it's strings. So it's the first thing. Don't use duplicate keys. You can use duplicate values. Next thing is a indexing. So we pretty much know indexing from lists and strings, and let's do it to print mix and square braces. When we were talking about lists, we used numbers. So I can use number 1 actually and get hello planet, but the reason for that is that I have an integer key. So if I use, for example, number 2, I won't get anything because there is no key 2. So when we index dictionaries, we don't write numbers as we did with lists. What we do write keys itself. So indexing dictionary requires you to enter the key. And because we have only keys, we don't have any numbers. We don't actually have order. I did tell you that dictionaries are now ordered. This means that every time you print it, you will get key value pairs in the same order as here. But the thing is, you can't use this order. You can't pick second item, third item, fourth item. So you actually don't have any, let's say, instruments to pick this order. So it doesn't actually matter. Let's say dictionaries are still unordered. But just because you have keys now, all of the indexing possibilities like start, end, and step are not present in dictionaries. So working with dictionary means that you enter a key and get a value from there. You can't do a slice from dictionary. So you can't say like from here to H2, for example. It will be a mistake.
But if the keys will be integers from 1 to 3.
No, but I can show you. Let's say, let's do it this way. We have, let's say, dictionary. Let's say 0, 1. Let's say 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 2, and 3 will be 3. So let's try to index it. Let's say I want from 0 till 2. Same thing. Dictionaries cannot be sliced. So if you need slicing, you need to use a list. I will show you how to convert list to dictionary, dictionary to list a little bit later. So basically, what we have here. So indexing dictionaries requires you to enter the key. The second thing is if you enter the key that doesn't exist, you will still get an error. So working with dictionary is quite similar like working with lists. So key that doesn't exist will return error. You can actually go around that. So you can use a get method. So dictionaries do have a get method. Get is a method, that's why we have round braces, not square ones. And we can actually enter something here. I will enter some random number just to see how get will work if we use some non-existing key. So using get for that will return none in case that if key doesn't exist. So if I take H, for example, it will return me the value. If I use, for example, name here, it will return me the value. But if I use something like surname, I don't have it in a dictionary, I will return none instead. Why is it good? You don't get a mistake at that point. So actually using get method to take values from a dictionary is a better idea than using square brackets. But both can be used.
But it's indexing as well. Yes.
It is, but if we index like that, surname, we will get an error. So basically program will stop at that point and we will get a key error that we don't have this key in the list. But if we use gets, get with the same non-existing key, it will return none. This means we don't have error and program can run after that. So none is better. That's why we have none, because we don't have anything to return. But none is an existing value. It doesn't break the program. It doesn't cause an error. Actually, you can choose what to return instead of none. So you can put comma here and add anything you want. For example, I want empty list. Not a big deal. Or maybe I want to return, say, hello world instead. So I can actually choose what I return in case there is no such key. Or maybe I want a boolean false, for example, here. So try getting this value. If it doesn't exist, return what I write next, so false. If I use name here, for example, I will still get my name without any false statement. So if you don't like none, or for some reason you don't want none, you can change none here. All right, so using get method is a better idea. And try using get every time you can. And I will continue. So what we did check that dictionary does actually have order, but we don't have any possibility to address this order, so it doesn't actually do any good for us. Second thing, we looked that dictionaries can be indexed. So we can index dictionaries by existing keys. And dictionaries are also changeable. So this means that if you want to change some value, you can do it by addressing mix the key and changing the value after the equal sign. So pretty much similar to lists, but we use numbers in there. So I can say that new name is Jack, for example, and I will print our mix, so original variable, and I can see that name Jack was changed. So name was changed to Jack. It was Roman before, and now it's Jack. So dictionaries are changeable, but be careful. If you make a mistake writing a key, for example, or create a non-existing key, I will do phone, for example. Let's say something like that. When we do that, it won't actually cause any errors. So when you want to get value by non-existing key, you will get an error if you use this way of indexing. Yeah, I'll show you already. But if you use an equal sign and assign some value to non-existing key, dictionaries allow you to do that. So if you look at our output, you see that phone key was added with the value I entered, 555, 555, 5555. So you can create new keys, key value pairs, and change existing key value pairs by addressing keys. So that's what makes dictionaries very good to use. You mean indexing more than one key at a time? Change many keys, or
just getting many keys from the
yeah, if you want different keys, you need to address each of them. So name, and again mix. Oops, and again mix dot get phone, and so on and so on. Yes, yes, or square brackets. It's up to you. So you can change values and you can add values.
But you cannot change multiple keys.
You can change multiple keys at once. I will show you the method right away. So the method for changing multiple keys, let's say I have, let's say I'll make a variable new and make it a dictionary and say name is Simon. Let's say age is 25, and let's add something we don't have, address. Let's say I'll do our address here. So what I did, what I created here, I created a new list that actually has two key value pairs that already exist in a mix. So it's name and age. We do have these keys inside mix variable, and I also added a new key address that we don't have inside the mix variable. And what if we want to update our mix variable with these values? So pretty much all of them. We can use a update method. So update method gets a, no, it says mapping here. So basically it gets, it takes a dictionary as a argument. So I can pass it here and say mix.update and take new as reference, and let's print out mix. So what we see here, that name and age were changed because we had these keys already. And if we look at the end of this output, we see that address was also added. So using update method checks if key exists and overwrites it, or if key doesn't exist, it creates a new pair.
But there are no need to create a new dictionary. We could write it in.
Yes, you can always, if you can use a variable with a dictionary here, you can always take a dictionary and add it right away. So it's pretty much same rule for everyone. If some, let's say, method accepts a string, you can put any kind of string there. You can write it, you can give a variable, you can index a list and get a string from there. So pretty much if it's a string, and if this method accepts a string, you can put it. For us, update method takes a dictionary. So any dictionary you have, you can add here. I can actually even take mix itself and get that, for example, personal data. So I can say mix.get personal data. Mix get personal data is a dictionary, so I can take that and see that I have height and weight added to my mix dictionary. So any dictionary, and if I address this key, I will get this value. This value is a dictionary. I can use it anywhere the dictionary can be used. So it's a general rule for everything. If something is the required data type, you can use it. It's same with indexing. I will show you here at the bottom. So print mix dot get personal data. Personal data. So if we say about this value, we get value from key personal data. This value is a dictionary type. So we do have a dictionary here. For us, this means that whole this equation returns a dictionary. So we can actually use this dictionary to work with it. So I can actually put here dot get weight, for example. So I can use another get method to index dictionary inside. Or for example, if we have, what was there? It was courses. Yeah, for example, if we have courses here, so I can use courses. It returns me a list, so I can use this list to do something else. So I can say dot I won't be using dots. I will index it like that. For example, index 1. So take math. So pretty much everywhere in Python, if some equation is a dictionary, you can use whole equation and work like with the dictionary. If whole equation is a list, you can work with it as a list. So what is that? The whole this equation, what data type is it? Nope. So courses is a list when we index 1 from the list. So it's math. Math is a string. So whole this equation is a string. So I can use, for example, dot upper to change math to upper. So this way of indexing one by one will stay pretty much everywhere. It doesn't matter what you use. Is it list, string, or it's a dictionary? Actually, you can use this step-by-step indexing for pretty much everything. So you only need to understand what data type you get in return, and then add another indexing there. So I use mix is a dictionary. I use get methods to take the list out. I use indexing for the list, and I use upper method for the string that is returned. So it's pretty much like that. What you can also do, you can delete something from list. So we'll use print mix here, and deleting from list is different from deleting from dictionary is different from deleting from list. So you can use a del operator or the command. Del is for deleting. Actually, del can be used to delete variables, for example, and delete other stuff. But in dictionaries, you can delete a key value pair. For example, I say mix name, like that. And you can see that name key value pair is missing from here. So del will delete something from dictionary using an indexing. And both key and value are deleted. And deleted and also forgotten. So you can't reuse these variables. Like, remember, we had method pop that remembered what it deleted. So here it doesn't work like that. Another thing is method pop. I will do a variable h and use mix.pop. So mix.pop requires a key. Remember, we had method pop with lists. We had to enter index there. So we had method pop with set. We didn't enter anything. It just took the random value. And method pop with dictionaries requires a key. So similar to list, but a key. Let's say h. So I can do it like that. And let's print h as well, so we can see that you can't leave an empty pop method. Empty pop method with dictionaries will cause raise error. With lists, it deleted the last value because lists were ordered and dictionaries are not. So empty pop method won't work. You need to leave some value inside. And same like before, pop method does remember what it deleted. But we have a key value pair. So we have a key h and a value 35, but pop method will remember the value only. So the key will be deleted, the value will be stored inside pop method when you use it. So you can save it in a variable if you want to reuse it later. There is also a pop item thing. Let's say h2 equals mix.pop item and print h2. So the thing with pop item, just because dictionaries are ordered now, so they do have these key value pairs in the same order they were added. So pop item will delete last item inside the dictionary and save it as a tuple with two values, where first value is a key and second value is a value from that key. So pop item will delete a pair and save both key and value as two elements of a tuple.
It's very interesting. In matter is short others part in matter.
Maybe you didn't add h2 in the end. Let's try again. So is you didn't comment this out. That's why you didn't comment this method out. So if I do add them, I might have different values as well. So if I put a new here, I will have address as well. So for me, with these commented out, I'm working with this dictionary. So that's why h is last. But it's always the last value. So dictionary do remember the order, but we can't address this order. So pop item will give you the last item inside the dictionary. And last but not the least, if you try converting dictionary to something else, for example, print, let's say Well, converting to string, I guess I don't have to show it. It's always the same way. You get the same thing, but as a string. So converting dictionaries to integers, for example, is impossible because dictionary is too complex to convert to number. You can try creating a list from dictionary. So creating a list, a tuple, or a set from dictionary will actually create you a dictionary or a list of keys, or tuple of keys, or set of keys. So all values are ignored. You only get keys. So if you want to get a list of values, for example, you can use another way. So dictionaries have different methods. I'm not explaining copy method. It's exactly the same as it was with the lists. But what we have is mix dot let's say keys, then print mix dot values and print mix dot items. So if you want to convert a dictionary to some better, to a list, for example, or something similar to a list, you can use this logic. So what you need to decide, converting dictionaries to lists, you need to decide whether you want keys only and make a dictionary of keys, and we have it here. It does say that it's some dict keys method, but I will show you later that it works fine as a normal list. If you don't like this dict keys thing, you can actually take that value and convert it to a normal list. So you can do it this way and get a regular list. But the thing is, dot keys method returns you a list of keys. Dot values method returns you an iterable or a list with values, only values. And dot items returns you a list with tuples, and each tuple does contain both. So it's a key and a value pairs. A key, a value, key, value, key, value. So you can actually choose how to convert dictionary to a list, and you have these three methods. So you can say keys only, values only, or both as items. Any questions?
I have
Yes.
Question about pop and pop item. Where should I use them?
Basically, maybe when you have this algorithm, when you take each pair and do something with it. So basically, you take, for example, name, print it, then take something else, and you want to delete one by one, or maybe logics like that. So you want to take the last item. It works when you want to take them all out but one by one, step by step.
Okay, but pop. Because why do I have to remember this bit if I can always recreate it?
The thing is, for example, if your program works and for some reason you want to take it out and maybe add it to another dictionary or something like that, so you can remember this. So in this example here, if I do a pop h, and maybe I want to save it in some other variable to use it, so I don't want it in dictionary, I want to use it separately. Or with pop item, you get both a key and a value. So maybe you have another dictionary where you want to add this pair. So you want a key and a value together. And yes, of course, you can always do it manually. So you can say, for example, mix2 dot h2 equals to, let's say, h. Yeah, for example, like that. But for programs, you might want to use it like that. So, for example, mix h2 0. So I get the key equals to h2 1. So what I will get here, I added it. So I deleted first here, and then I used to add it. So this is by this I'm indexing this key, and by using h21 I'm indexing this value. For example, I can swap them so we can see the changes. Let's swap them around. So 35 is the key and h2 is the value. So in case I want to move it around somewhere, then pop item might work well.
Okay.
Any other questions? All right, so that's pretty much it for dictionaries for now. I will show you some other methods, but dictionaries are important. It's one of the most common types in Python, and you will use it pretty much everywhere. Just to sum up, dictionaries do have duplicate members, do not have duplicate keys, but dictionaries can have duplicate values. Dictionaries are changeable. We saw different ways of changing dictionaries, and they are indexed. It is same like with lists. So dictionary is stored somewhere else in memory, and the link to that place is stored in a variable. So if you say mix equals to mix2, you pretty much have two variables leading to same dictionary. You need to use copy method. A dictionary is unordered. It's not actually true beginning from Python 3.7. It is ordered, but we can't address this order. Well, maybe using pop item taking last one, but it's still not addressing the order. And we use curly braces for dictionaries. And now we will speak about flow controls. We will speak about flow control constructions. There are several of those. Those of you who already know some programming maybe is familiar with them. These are if statement we watched last lesson. Then there is a for cycle, there is a while cycle, and there is a try except else construction for catching errors. So we'll do it step by step. And first of all, I will remind you of an if statement. And what I want to do is actually quite simple. Today, I'm not sure if we have enough time today, but if you write Isiku code in Google, you should get this Wikipedia page for Estonian national ID. Let's see if we can change the language. English. Nope, not here. How can we change? How can we change the language? Okay, let's change it like that. En. Yeah, if you change it in a link here, en. Okay, it doesn't say a lot in English. Then I will advise you to go. Sorry, use translator. Yeah, you can use it in Google Chrome.
But in Russian it's the same.
It's still not the same. You can try Russian, but some of the nuances are different. But if you open Chrome, it should offer you to translate if you need to, or you can use Estonian. Russian is not full, I guess. If we take, I can check it for you. There was something definitely missing. Okay, it is here. Actually, Russian might be different, but it works. So if anyone wants to use Russian, you can. So I will use Estonian with the Google Translate here. So what we will be doing today, we will be, in the end of the lesson, we will be starting to write a program that will check Estonian national ID. Estonian national ID is 11 digits long, all numbers, and there is some information hidden inside these numbers. For example, first digit first digit of the number is actually a gender, so odds are male and even are female. So you have 1, 3, 5 for male and 2, 4, 6 for female. Also, first digit shows you first two numbers of the year of birth. So it is like that. 1 or 2 is a man or woman born in 1800s, and it might be, let's say, most of you will think, all right, these people don't live anymore. He should be how much? At least 124 years old. So pretty much, I'm not sure if we have any people that age in Estonia, but when you work with different documents, they had IDs. They had their national IDs. And when you work with some documents, you might see these IDs. That's why they still are used, and that's why they still are explained. So actually, their ID codes do exist. People maybe not, but ID codes do, and you might find them in some papers or some documents and so on and so on. 3 and 4 are male and female respectively, born in 1900s. 5 and 6, men and female, born in 2000s. And 7 and 8 are reserved for future, for those who will be born in 2100. So it's actually these numbers only. 0 and 9 are not used. So after these numbers are all used, they will start using 1 and 2 again. So like that. Then we have second and third numbers. They show you year of birth. So basically other two numbers of year of birth. 4 and 5 shows you the month. 6 and 7 show you date of birth, so the day. 8, 9, and 10, these were used. You can find this information here. They were used for so-called hospital identifiers. These were used for people born in Estonia and born before 2013. So all ID codes that were given out before 2013, last three numbers, not last three, but 8, 9, and 10 numbers, 8, 9, and 10 numbers, should actually show what hospital you were born. For example, mine is 027, and 027 is East Tallinn Hospital. I was born here in Tallinn. So actually, it does work for my ID code. Yeah, but the rest of the people who were not born in Estonia, born somewhere else, should have their IDs with other numbers. So 700 is the last one for those born in Estonia. I will repeat myself. This works only for ID codes that were issued before 2013. So if you check ID codes issued after that, it shouldn't work. So there will be random numbers, but it worked before. So you have this region thing. And the last number is a control digit. So basically, you have a formula here. You have two check scales, so weights. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1. You have 10 numbers in here. And you have a second weight as well. So first and second. And you have a formula here. So basically, it's multiplying 1 by 1 and summing it up. Then you find the remainder of dividing by 11, and if it's the same as the last number of ID code, then the ID code is correct, or let's say validated. If it is not the same, you do the same formula with a second weight, check again. My ID, I will give you my ID code. My ID code checks by 2 of these weights. So if the result you get from counting is the same as the last digit of your ID code, then it's valid. Otherwise, it's not. But I will explain that later. So ID code does actually have different things hidden inside it. And first, we will see some flow constructions, and if we have enough time left, we will do the program itself. So we can actually write a program that will ask user to enter ID code, And for example, by typing 1, you will get a gender. By typing 2, you will get a date of birth. By typing 3, you will get a region. And by typing 4, you will get it validated. So we will make a small program with menu and so on and so on. So let's start with checking length of ID code. So we know it must be 11 digits long. And we will use if statement for that. So I will make a variable ID code and ask user to input, enter ID code. So let's say, please enter your ID. And we can use if for that. So if len ID code is, let's say, equal to 11, print, say, correct ID code. So if I enter, let's say, a couple of letters, it won't show me anything. If I enter a lot more, it won't show me anything, and it will only print the statement if I have enough digits. So I'll do it like that. 11 digits, then it's correct. So we might have ID code longer or shorter than 11 digits. So we can do separate conditions. Let's say elif. Actually, we don't need these brackets here. I will delete them. So len ID code is more than 11. We can say that ID is too long. Do we need another elif here to make IDs too short?
We can write elif print.
Plain.
But we can write elif and then print.
Like that. So it's not elif then. Elif needs a condition. So we can use else.
Else.
Else,
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, that's right. So why is that? Because ID code can be, length of ID code can be either equal, more, or less. So we don't have any fourth condition here. So we can use else because the rest two conditions, there is three possible conditions: equal, more, or less. So if we already have these two here, last one can be else. We don't have to state it. So we can actually use it. Print ID is too long. Short, yeah. Thank you. Short. ID is too short. So enter ID, 3 numbers. ID is too short. Try again. Add more numbers. ID is too long. And 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Correct. So we have three different conditions. ID is equal, length of ID is equal to 11 digits. Length of ID is less or more than 11 digits. And we have 3 different messages. What I didn't show you, that if statements can be nested inside each other. So we can put another if statement inside. And I will do a copy of that. So I will comment it out and make a copy. And what I will do now is cut this bit, elif and else. Actually, I will cut it from here, if. I will just take this piece out. So cut and use else here and insert another if inside else.
But it's the same thing.
It's the same thing, but we have a nested if. So it does check something inside. So if length of ID code is equal to 11, we will print this message and continue with our code without taking else. If length of ID code is not equal to 11, then we will go to else statement and do the other checks inside. So if statements can be nested inside each other. And you see that we have this tabulation here as well. So basically nesting something is done with indentation. So I do have indentation here. This means that this if statement is inside this else. And this indentation is the way Python shows you what's inside each other, and Python understand. That's what's make Python readable, because other languages will use a lot of brackets to show you what's inside. And Python just uses these indentations. Be careful with those. One extra space will cause a mistake. So I have 5 spaces here instead of 4. You can see that there is an error already. So it must be exactly 4 spaces or 1 tab. In PyCharm, 1 tab is 4 spaces, so it's okay. Same here, tab or 4 spaces. So if you do 1 less space, 1, 2, 3, it will still be an error. So you need to look at these indentations. Yep. I thought you have a question.
Yeah, I just wanted to. But this is going to be like in GitHub file also.
Yes.
Because I'm kind of like in 2 places right now.
So okay. It will be in Git and it will be on the recording as well, so you can check it later as well. So yeah, it still works as it worked before, but we have a nested if inside. Another thing about if statements, I did show you these comparison operators. So let me show it again. Open an Explorer. I did show you these comparison operators, and there are only 6 of those. So equal, not equal, greater than, less than, greater equal, less equal. All of these comparison operators return you the Boolean value. So when we use a comparison, we get a Boolean value instead. Other thing is using in operator. I showed you before. In returns you Boolean as well. So what can you use also here? For example, I have this X, which is hello world, all lowercase. And I want a program to check if input is all lowercase, and if it's not, make it all lowercase. Or maybe make it uppercase if it's lowercase, and make it lowercase if it's uppercase, for example. So I can use other methods that return booleans. For example, if X is upper, remember I showed you this method when we worked with strings. If X is upper, and I don't need any comparison here. Why is that? Because is upper already returns a boolean. So if X is upper, we will print X dot lower. And else we will print X dot upper. So what we have here, I will leave it like that. So hello world in lowercase returns us hello world in capital case, and if we use hello world in capital case, it will return us hello world in lowercase. So we can use any methods that return a boolean inside if condition to make some logic. The other thing is that I can also do it like that. If x, print x, else print nothing. Let me comment this out. So how does this if condition works? If x, print x. How can I print nothing here? What do I need to enter to the x or do with x to make else statement work? Do you have any ideas?
If x.
No, here I need to change something here, so this condition will still work and give us else. So what can I change here to get else? Right, let's think logically then. So our statement says if x. X is not a boolean. X is a string, and we know that. So what happens here? We know that if always requires a boolean. So if we don't provide it with a boolean, it will take the value we provided and convert it to boolean itself. So what it does actually, it does convert x to a boolean. X has some use non-type. Non-type will work actually, yep. So what it does, it converts x to a boolean, and x is a string with a hello world sentence in there. So actually we know that the only string that returns false is an empty string. So if we have some letters in here, if x, if we have something inside, then it's true, because it converts to a boolean true. That's why I told you these false values for all of the data types. So if there are some symbols inside the string, that means that x converts to true, and we have this print x working. If we delete everything from x and leave it an empty string returns false, so we can use it like that. So x will be automatically converted to boolean false, and that's it. So what you need to understand about these conditions here, you can either use methods that return booleans like is upper, is lower, and so on. You can use in, if, for example, hello is in hello world. So you can use that, it returns boolean, or you can just put a value and it will automatically be converted to a boolean and will be checked by the if statement. So if, for example, I have an empty list, it will work exactly the same because empty list converts to false. Or you can have empty dictionary, for example, exactly the same thing. But if you have at least one value, name Roman, it converts to boolean true. So you can use it as if user entered something. I will show you another example and then we'll do a break. For example, x is an input. So we ask user to enter something. Enter your name. And here we will say hello. And here we will say you did let's do it. Didn't enter a name. So I ask user to enter a name. I add Roman, for example, and it will greet me. Because I did enter something, there are symbols inside x, so it converts to boolean true. If I do the same way, but don't enter anything, just push enter, it will leave my input as a near empty string, and this empty string will convert to boolean false, and we will get this statement. So this body of else. Right, I will stop the recording. You can finish writing it down.